Hello and welcome to the Late Night Lounge here on Latte Firm. It is Friday the 29th of August and another bomber has just dropped. Piero Hincapié is signing for Arsenal on a loan with an option. Andrea Berta, what have you done to me? What have you done to my club? I don't recognize this club anymore, but I love it. Welcome to the show. We're going to talk about Piero Hincapié. We're going to talk about all the things that are happening at Arsenal, potential outgoings. We've got a massive game this weekend. Arsenal go to Anfield to go and make a statement against the current Premier League champions. Are we going there and are we going to nab the points? That is what we've got to look forward to tonight. Going to be joined by the usual rascals. My sincerest apologies for being late. Really, really sorry about that. And let's go straight to the comments. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to all of our channel members and Patreon members. It is great to have you guys on board. And those of you in the chat just joining us for a bit of fun on this Friday night. I hope you are also going to enjoy the content. Welcome. Hope you've had a good week. Vive Lad says, good evening, guys. Ornbom on Hincapié. This window has been beyond our wildest dreams. That is a fantastic way to start tonight's show. Dan Alpha, welcome. It's Friday. Happy Friday, boys. Hope you're all doing well. Looking forward to seeing the Eze infectious smile on everyone's faces. Let's have you. Snack check, he's gone early. Churros with caramel dip. Yum. Hope you've had a great week, Dan. Hope you've all had a good week. I've had personally quite a testing week, a long week. I was out last night as well with some of the Arsenal personnel. We might talk about that later. Gunny Guna says, good evening, Gunners. Fatty. Tim says, you guys need to upgrade your snacks to Swedish level. Now that Victor's here, we shall see that. Logical Nonsense is in the house. I've been giddy the past few days thinking about watching Eze play for us at Anfield. Baz has got the snack check. I'm going to star that. Let me know what you guys are snacking on tonight. We will bring, of course, the rascals in and find out what they're snacking on tonight. Randin Snorting is just still delighted on cloud 9 about Eze. Viggs, welcome, says Hincapié. Option, not obligation. Berta is in the mafia. Absolutely insane. Yeah, I've got a little bit of insight from Richard Garlick about Andrea Berta. I'll share that with you shortly. Dave's in the house as well. Karen's in the house as well. Welcome. Asheen's here as well. Nathan says, just change the name to Late Firm at this point. My sincerest apologies. When the bombers drop, I got to update the slides, right? Come on, you guys know this. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. DJ D10. Excellent evening to you all. Let's bring on the Friday night feast. Lovely Gooners. I love it. I'm here. I'm here, Rosh. Do not worry, my man. Do not worry. I am here. Latif. Hello, FK. Excited for Sunday. I can't believe. I believe we can win at Anfield. You and I both. Keep the chat active. Let's bring them in. First up, Eberechi Eze. How are you doing?
I'm not happy.
Ooh. What's happened?
I don't recognise my club, mate. What is this? I am used to having one large deal and then 5 other shoddy deals. What is happening to my club, man? Come on, tell me. What the heck? 8 signings of quality. I do not recognise this club.
What Don Andrea has done it, my friend. That is the difference.
My mind is blown. Literally, of quality. This is not like, Mr. Barbecue Man, where it was one signing at the end of the window, large signing, and then you get reasonable quality. It's top quality. I can't take it. Oh my God.
I know. It's very, very unusual. Wayne was apologizing for the delay. He did very kindly say I was working on the slides. The Ornstein bomber did caught me by surprise. It did catch me by surprise. It really did. I honestly don't know what's happening at Arsenal Football Club. And all I'm going to say is that I love it. I absolutely love it. It is what we needed, is what we all deserve. And I think it puts us in a really good position to go strong in the league, but also across all the competitions. We're also going to talk about the Champions League draw and the Carabao draw because Wayne is with us. Wayne Belle, how are you, man? Good to see you.
Listen, yeah, I'm not happy.
Don't you start as well?
I'm not happy.
Oh, dear.
First of all, 8 signings of quality, not one bloody left wing. Not one bloody left winger. Berta, what are you doing? You're a fraud.
That's right. There is no left winger. What?
Oh my God.
And
boys.
Look, and also, I'm not happy with you, FK.
Ooh. Why? What did I do?
You call it the Carabao. You disrespect me week in, week out. But when that draw was made, you messaged us 2 minutes later.
Oh yeah, that's true. He did.
Boys,
we're going Port Vale.
We're going Port Vale on a Wednesday night.
These two, ladies and gents, boys and girls, didn't even know the draw had happened. That's how much they love the Carabao. And the FK over there, Paul Schmuck, had to watch the most ridiculous penalty shootout. I stuck around, watched the draw, and I was like, boys, let's go Port Vale. And Wayne's like, oh no, I can't go. I've got to wash my beard. And Yambella's like, oh no, I can't go either because Carabao beans. Neither of you are going. Terrible.
You're not welcome. You're not invited.
You're not even going to be anywhere near Stoke-on-Trent. Anyway, right. Everybody's gone early with the snack checks. Evening to everybody. Oh, you guys are so nice. Hundreds of you watching on a Friday night. I'm so grateful that you guys make the time. Welcome to the show, chaps, chapesses, everyone watching from wherever you are watching from around the world. Let's get the snack check out of the way. Belly, you go first. As I just read out Baz's. Tonight's snack check for me are chili-coated peanuts and a cold brew from the perfect beer machine.
But which chili-coated peanuts? There are some brands that are subpar.
Let us know, Baz. Let us know what you're having. Dan went early. He was having, what was he having? The caramel thing that he talked about at the start. Yikes, I've forgotten. That's terrible. Yeah. That's really terrible. I read it out as well. My memory.
Really left a lasting impression on you there, FK.
Yeah, it really did.
Some sort of caramel sauce or something, wasn't it? Oh, I don't know. Someone's having whiskey and Pringles. That's an interesting conversation. Coco Fair is just sending us love. Thank you to you. Good evening to Madeline. What have you got, Yem?
I got an old classic that I found, and I haven't found it for a while. The Choc Dips.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember these?
I do remember them.
Delightful. I had one yesterday. It is still delightful. My only complaint, and it's always a complaint now with shrinkflation, the amount of chocolate you get. Look at this. It's nothing. What is that?
Yeah, I got to be honest with you, Mbele. You've disappointed me because the Nutella ones are absolutely elite, and you get a really good portion of Nutella.
I know, but I found these, and it was just like nostalgia for me. So I just thought, I have some of this, put in the fridge for a few minutes just to let it solidify.
Okay. Russell says early snack check the border dark chocolate and raspberry biscuits. Oh yes. They are absolutely extraordinary.
You are an influencer, FK. That's what they would call you.
Listen, I don't want to be known as an influencer. I just want to be known as someone who paid wisdom forward. That's all. I'm a wise man. What you got for us, Wayne?
I have got you and I are both men of distinguished taste when it comes to candies. Mm-hmm. We are very much into our hard candies. I've got some Jolly Ranchers fruity 2-in-1 flavor. Now, I'm usually a massive fan of just the regular Jolly Ranchers. They're my favorite sweets. Normally, if anyone ever goes to America, I always try to ask them to bring me back some. But these fruity 2-in-1s are a combination of grape and green apple, blue raspberry and watermelon, and orange and cherry.
You're not doing it for me, Wayne, this week.
They're sensational. They're absolutely brilliant.
I think you need to go back home, as into your proper home. Yeah. just get back to get some decorum. That's what you need.
They're brilliant. Jolly Ranchers are the best sweets in the world.
You can't beat a lemon sherbet for a hard sweet. That is the ultimate.
What
are you doing, man?
I have a bit of class. You lot go with these American sweets. This
Karen. Latte foam after dark. It's the Carabuti cup, she says.
That's what FK's very big for. That's what.
Ham's in the house. I did an FK and immediately sniffed around my mates for an away ticket going. I've never done an away day either, mate. If you can get an away ticket for Anfield, I don't have a ticket for Anfield. I'm desperate. Anybody watching, if they can sort me a ticket for Anfield, I'd be much grateful.
Don't do that. Ham, people.
Let me know what you're snacking on because your snacks are traditionally elite. I'm going to go early. I'm not going to go early. I'm going to just go in time. I've got a tremendous treat tonight. You guys know that Lindt do those sort of wafer chocolates, right? Wally's a big fan of these, right? Now they've started doing a dark chocolate version.
I saw this today in the shop.
Oh my word. Absolutely. Oh my word. Now they're ridiculously priced, but I'm very pleased to say that we were given these as a gift, a little assortment packet. So, no guilt. You get like 6 for like £7. It's the cost of confectionery and chocolate is just ridiculous these days. But the dark chocolate is tremendous. Kevin. That's a cool name, Kevin. My son wants to call his hamster Kevin. It was vetoed by my daughter, and now we've agreed to call it Cookie. But Kevin, welcome. He's having a Kit Kat. Paul James says his snack check tonight is a raspberry hazelnut croissant and a strawberry shake. There's a lot of sweetness there going on, Paul. Like, the raspberry and the hazelnut croissant is going to be strong, and then you got the strawberry shake to wash it all down. The depth of the snack is crazy. But Irfan's talking about our squad. Andy says cereal, late night cereal is unbelievable. What are you having though? You got to give us the details that matter, Andy. These are not the standards. We need the fine details. Come on. Good evening, all. Good evening to Alison. Welcome to the show. It's a name that I don't recognize. Maybe you've been on before. Gogo says goat meat, pepper soup, and a cold Heineken. What is goat meat pepper soup? Is it just a soup? Either of you heard of this? Ooh.
I'm assuming pepper soup is African, like Nigerian, Ghanaian, I think.
I'm going to Google that because it sounds absolutely unreal. Uncle Doris is in the house. Evening all. Only dark chocolate can hit the spot. There's a super chat. Thank you so much from Shu. Thank you for your generous donation to the channel. It is greatly appreciated. It's funny to praise Berta. Ask yourself why Arsenal went for him, and that person is the reason. It's just like a sort of mind trick. It's funny to praise Berta. Ask yourself why Arsenal went for him, and that person is the reason.
Very philosophical.
That person is the reason. Help me out, chat. Have I missed something? Is this a dig at Edu? Maybe.
I'm just going to say hand of Arsenal. Ask yourself why Arsenal went for him. Hand of Arsenal.
yeah, exactly.
That's the answer to everything, isn't it?
Exactly.
Is the hand of Arsenal is the reason.
Thank you, Shu. Appreciate that. DJ Jackie B. I'm having Swazi Gold, sativa heavy outdoor, delicious. Has my head gone? None of these things are making any sense to me tonight. I've never. What is Swazi Gold? Come on. Those of you that are tuning in for the first time to Latte FM, having watched the Daily Grinds, the Late Night Lounge is a much chilled, longer sesh. Hence, we waste the first 15 minutes talking about snacks. But, waste is a harsh word. I'm enlightening your lives. It's really good fun. Swazi Gold is a sativa landrace strain from Africa known for its sweet citrus flavor and fast-acting effects.
You're selling drugs online.
Yeah. I potentially. Aidan Ains, let's move on swiftly. Grape and green apple sounds unreal.
You're a lad, Aidan. You're an absolute lad.
Machine. This is what I'm talking about. You know what? I'm taking it back. I am a hashtag influencer. Last night, I crumbled falafel on my pasta. Is that a hands over eyes emoji? I can't quite tell. If it is, tell me how it tasted. I'm telling you guys, crumbled falafel over pasta is absolutely the business. The business. Big up to Oslo Guna, the panel, and the Gooners. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm so glad it's the weekend. What a game we have to look forward to on Sunday. Moyad says his snack check is tea with cake. Thank you. We've got a real mixture. Having a kiwi, says Philip Jakobsen. What a great name, Philip Jakobsen. Fantastic. He's having a kiwi. I'm actually allergic to kiwis. It's the only thing that I'm allergic to. So there you go. There's a fun fact. What's your favorite chocolate bar? Jammer asks. Wayne?
Boost.
Kinder Bueno.
I asked Wayne. Yeah, Belly's just right in there.
Boost. Yeah. Kinder Bueno for me.
Do you know what? For me, it's got to be Snickers is the goat. It's unrivaled. It doesn't matter like what weather, what time of year, what time of day. Snickers just works, man. It's just a classic. There you go, Jammer. Hopefully that's answered your question. Aidan says snack check tonight: chocolate and caramel soft center cookies. Sounds good. Call the hamster Havert. Jizzle McDizzle. I love you, Jizzle McDizzle. Is that Jizzle McDizzle? It really is Jizzle McDizzle in the picture. Finally, a face to the elite name. Right, we are going to end the snack check. Thank you so much for that. Really, really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Let's get into the content. And if you are tuning in for the first time and you do enjoy tonight's content, please do, of course, drop a like on the video. It is a massive help to the channel, ladies and gents, boys and girls. It's free to do, easy to do, press like, and it's huge with the algorithms. If we can get to 500 plus likes, which we've been averaging on the last few weeks worth of shows, that would be sensational. All your chat is welcome. All super chats are welcome. And of course, a very warm welcome to our Patreon members and channel members. Right, chaps. Just a few moments ago, the Piero Hincapié bomber has been announced. David Ornstein tweeting, Hand of Arsenal has tweeted, Fabrizio Romano has tweeted. Now, for any of you who want a deep dive into this player, there is a show dedicated to him that we did with Alex Barker of The Athletic. Check it out. Playing strengths, styles, weaknesses, acclimatization. How is he going to settle? Role that he might play, formation that he's played under Xabi Alonso, and how he sort of also controlled his hot head in his first season. He had 3 red cards and 14 yellows. Last year, 8 yellows and no reds. So he's doing something good. But chaps, let's talk about the player himself. And I want to get your thoughts just immediately. Yembele, this is the sort of timeline. Hand of Arsenal tweeting just a couple of days ago that Piero Hincapié has requested that Bayer Leverkusen to negotiate reasonably with Andrea Berta and Arsenal. The defender is fully sold on the project. David Ornstein just a few moments ago saying that Arsenal have reached agreement with Bayer Leverkusen to sign Piero Hincapié on a season-long loan with a buy option, not obligation, which has knocked me off my chair. And then Hand of Arsenal, of course, the GOAT, confirming that Arsenal have completed the transfer of Piero Hincapié from Bayer Leverkusen. Yembele, immediate thoughts.
What a deal. What an absolute deal. When the Eze deal was done, I thought that was it. We're done. Focus on outgoings. We've spent a lot of money. We've bought, 7 players. It's unheard of for Arsenal in terms of the amount and the quality. Usually if we're buying that much, it's kind of the quality starts to fade towards the end of the window. You buy a few also rounds, etc. This caught me completely out of the blue when we were looking at, and obviously the timeline. I don't think you mentioned the little Tottenham relation in terms of timeline, where initially it would look like Tottenham were interested in Piero Hincapié, and then obviously David Ornstein tweeted like 8 minutes later that that we were doing a deal. So in terms of execution, it looks very quick, but obviously we don't know the true timeline because obviously things are done at a different pace. It's just reported in a particular time. But that we've seemingly let go of our reserve left centre back in Jakub Kiwior to Porto and brought in ready-made cover. And I say ready-made because he's not a second stringer for Bayer Leverkusen. He's the starter that can cover the left centre-back position and the left-back position with quality, i.e. that at left-back, he is a pacey player, and that's one of his biggest strengths. He's pacey, he's aggressive with his running, and he's got a good cross. So you're talking about not just a cover player, you're talking about someone who is going to legitimately challenge that left-hand side. Because you've obviously got Riccardo Calafiori there, you've got Miles Lewis-Skelly. But in the truest sense, we don't have an overlapper. And Hincapié does do that very well because he's got the pace, but he also can defend out wide. So if we need to fall back into the 3, like we do sometimes into our 3, he can do that without any question. He can cover Gabriel if injuries. The options that this player can provide is very, very welcome because that's what Arteta loves. And this is defense. If you look at it now, it's full of versatility. Outside of the 2 of Gabriel Saliba, the versatility offered by the rest of the defense is actually really scary. And obviously, we lost, Takahiro Tomiyasu at the start of the window. And I thought, we're going to replace him, but are we going to completely, overhaul the defense? Because it's a big thing to do in the summer. But we've pretty much done that. We've kept the really excellent players, and we've brought in real quality. It's an amazing summer, and obviously it's testament to Andrea Berta. So amazing deal. Really happy with it. I can't wait to see him in action because I think we'll see him pretty soon, actually.
Lots of people in the chat very excited about him. Tise was just saying that he's going to give Ricky Calafiori and Miles Lewis-Skelly a run for their money. Lots of people thinking that this could be the season for Miles Lewis-Skelly to move into midfield. Wayne, just as I sort of talk through our kind viewers, the sort of player profile, I want to get your thoughts as well. So what do we know about Piero? He's 23 years of age. He's another 6-footer. Mikel, I see what you're doing, my friend. Obviously playing at Bayer Leverkusen, moved over from Ecuador when he was 19, has been at Bayer Leverkusen now for 3 seasons. He is an Ecuadorian international with 46 caps to his name. He is a left-footed player, can play centre-back, left centre-back. Did start off playing in a 4-4-2 for Bayer Leverkusen and moved to a back 3 and was an instrumental part of their double winning season, of course, where they went unbeaten. 28 appearances in last season's Bundesliga, 4 appearances off the bench. Scored a couple of goals, got a couple of assists, and actually had expected assists of almost double what he actually got. Dribble past, 0.5 per 90. Clearances, 3.1 per 90. 62% of his duels won, which is higher than most of the Arsenal defenders, which is pretty incredible. 8 yellows. I just talked about his sort of temperament. You know, in his first season, 3 red cards and 14 yellows, and he didn't play many more games than that, to be fair. So he's really worked on that, and his contract was set to expire in June 29. But of course, now he joins on a year's loan with an option for us to buy at £45 million, lower than the release clause that they have. It's an insane piece of business, Wayne. I still can't get over the fact that it's an option to buy, but what sort of impact are you expecting Piero to have on our team?
A pretty big one, because if you've seen his time at Leverkusen, he gets really involved, and he's been a key player for them, especially under Xabi Alonso. And I think that this is someone that is coming to not only rotate and be a Kiwior in the squad, for example. No disrespect to him. I think he's coming for that left back shirt. I think he's someone who really offers us a lot, especially on the overlap. Now, he's not like a Kieran Tierney touchline left back, get up and down and be a traditional fullback, I suppose, if you want to call it that. But this guy can attack with the best of them from defence. And he's someone that I think will be really, really suitable to play with Gyökeres. He likes to get the ball in early. He likes to get the ball across the ground. He likes to find the strikers. And for someone to have a rotation or a backup or whatever you want to call it of this quality is absolutely mental. It's just crazy. And the fact that we've got him at an absolute steal price-wise, and the fact that it's an option. Now, I fully anticipate we'll pay the option next summer. Like, I don't think we'll want to sour relationships with the player, with his agent, and with Leverkusen. Like, we're not that type of club. But heaven forbid something does go wrong with this deal, we have the get out clause. We have the ability to say no. We have the ability to send it back to Leverkusen. And yeah, it's just massive, especially considering that Kiwior's now leaving. And I know that a lot of Arsenal fans didn't necessarily want that to happen, but this is an upgrade on Kiwior. He's someone that is better than Kiwior and can do more what we're doing this season. If he's playing at left back, we're going to see more overlaps. We're going to see more of a pivot in midfield. And I think that it's a really suitable player and a really suitable signing for the way that we're set up for this season.
I'm super excited about it. By the way, just a couple of people that have read the article, but I think you might need to refresh your timelines. People correcting me, obligation, not option, FK, and DZ Rascal say, yeah, tweet said option, article said obligation. It is an option. David Ornstein has since edited his tweet to say that it is an option, which is absolutely incredible. So hopefully...
before we move on, FK, DZ Rascal also had another interesting comment. What shirt numbers are available?
Ooh, I don't know. You tell me, Wayne. You're the shirt number maestro. I mean, 3?
Well, no, Mascara. How dare you disrespect him?
Oh yeah, of course. I was thinking about Kieran Tierney.
The most likely is going to be 5, I imagine. He might
take left back. Game's gone.
Well, he's also a centre back, isn't he? He also plays centre back. He might take 15 now that Kiwior's leaving. The other potential outside bet, but I don't really like it as much, is 18 now that Tomiyasu's gone.
I don't mind an 18.
Yeah,
18,
15 or 18.
Yeah, all right.
If I had to place a bet, though, I think he's taking the number 5.
Okay. Talking of 15s, met the Romford Pele last night. That was lovely. Met Robert Pires. Met Richie Garlick. Richie Garlick's a very, 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 very nice chap. Talked about the intensity at which Andrea Berta is working at, and the club have been impressed by just how much of a workaholic he is. And without trying to give too much away, if the opportunity presents itself, it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal did, hold your breath, one more before the window closed. The big dogs.
We've got another defender. We've got another defender in us.
Don't know. Another left back. Yeah. The big dogs are not travelling to Anfield this weekend. That is all I'm going to say. So look, Piero Hincapié is on his way to Arsenal. A loan move with an option to buy. Absolutely sensational. Zahay, welcome to the show. Says, evening, gents. Not been able to join recent shows. Sorry to hear that, my man. Good to have you back. And definitely been missing it. Nice to see your beautiful faces. And Henkeho, He's starting off a fight here. Oh, I forgot. What a handsome couple of lads on a Friday night. Who are the couple? Who's the odd one out, Henker? Let us know, or don't let us know if you want to break our hearts. We're so lucky to have these eye candy men just spitting ball knowledge straight into our faces. Elite Friday night. Who one of us is going to be upset in just a few minutes' time. Like I said, ladies and gents, boys and girls, if you're interested in a deep dive as to what Piero Hincapié might bring Arsenal, do check out the breakdown video with Alex Barker of The Athletic. V Vlad saying number 3, surely. No, Mosquera, as I've just been corrected. RM says he could take number 13. Jizzle McDizzle says number 5. Oh, Kepa. All right. I'll tell you what, Stato, he knows all the numbers. 15 says good news. Oh, such a belter of a name. I hope that's your name. Gaming since 2010 says 18 is cursed. SSMYW says, I believe 69 is available. That's the best squad number. Nice. KSMYW, you have yourself a good night tonight, my friend. Moyad says, give Timber the number 5 and give him the number 12.
I can't believe we've got half an hour in and we spoke weed and 69. What a weed become.
It's truly late
I was
night.
corrected in the chat. Well, I can't remember what it was called. African Gold. What was it called? I don't know. But whatever it is, I hope you guys are enjoying it, or whatever. V Vlad says, I hope he takes the number 69 just to annoy Wayne. And one more. I wonder. Who knows? Why not, Dave? Why not? I'll take it. Hashtag ITK, hashtag influencer. Right, let's move away from Piero Hincapié. It's fantastic. Really, really pleasing to see. Generational Late Night Lounge says, Aiden, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. I'll tell you what, AP asks, FK, Wayne, who do you think that one more is going to be? We had, there was a Patreon question in the Patreon chat today, just asking about, what signing would you take if it was a signing that's already happened this summer? But let's kind of tweak that and go with AP's question. If you could get one more, and let's be realistic, it can't be Isak, obviously. But if you could get one more, what signing would you like to see? Wayne, let's go with you first.
First of all, why are you saying realistic? What about this summer has been realistic?
No, I mean surely. No. But surely we're out of money. I mean, it's got to be a loan or maybe a really cheap sort of deal. The fact that we have an option to buy and we've loaned Piero rather than paying the 45 million quid suggests to me that we are literally scraping the bottom of the piggy bank.
Yeah, if it is to be one more, I imagine it would be an attacker, and especially if the Kai Havertz news, there was obviously his injury update today, I think it was, or yesterday. He's having the surgery. We're expecting him, I think, out to be maybe about 2 months or so. Mm-hmm. If it is worth, I imagine we'll be looking in the attacking areas. For me, I know it will be a bit annoying considering he signed a new deal a bit earlier this summer, but I'd love us to target Semenyo. Yeah, Isak on loan. Isak on loan. Why
Isak on loan. Why not? Yeah, go on.
Berg got that. Berg can do that. And Newcastle will want to annoy Liverpool at this point. But yeah, I think if I could target one more, it would be an attacker. Someone like Semenyo, I think, would be fantastic because he could play left, play right. But that is being very, very greedy at this point. That's being very gluttonous.
Well, I mean, it was a great question by AP. We're being so greedy. 9 signings in one window. Yembele, who would you get?
I agree. It feels like it's gonna be an attacking signing. It could be a striker, another striker just to supplement. But you've got Gabriel Jesus coming back to fitness shortly. Although how long that lasts is another question.
It'd be 2 or 3 months, I think. But he's on grass. He's kicking a ball, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I get the feeling it's looking at a true left winger, just to that's what we've been looking for. But obviously, with Eze's arrival, providing the seniority cover, you're looking at someone maybe just a little bit more junior. My personal preference, and again, it's just one pie in the sky, would be Malik Fofana out of Lyon, because I just think that boy's going to be very good in the future.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's got good value. There's a good value on him, and I think he's got a good future ahead of him. So that would be my pick.
Nice shout from Andrew. Ollie Watkins, the Arsenal fan. Lots of shouts for Antoine Semenyo. That would be a great one. There was a shout for Barcola earlier. Don't know what's happening with him. Apparently he could move on a loan, but if there is any truth of that, which is mental, I'd love Arsenal to be all over that. That would be fantastic. A few people have said Kobe Mainu. Yeah, that is a player that I would have absolutely loved Arsenal to get. I think he's a fine player. Just needs a different environment to flourish. Such a young boy as well. 20, the England sort of allegiance there as well. It just would have been great. Vig says would like Barcola. Get Fofana. Another shout there. Yembele. Anajit says get Fofana. Squad is complete. Nice shout, says AP. Hopefully that's answered your question, AP. Great question. And Morgan Rogers linked today with Liverpool. I mean, that'd be some end to their transfer window if they manage to get Guehi, Rogers, Isak, even two of the three of those. Then the needle moves again. Asif, Granit Xhaka. Tell you what, I love you, Asif. Right, let's move away from Piero Hincapié. Again, a reminder, Alex Barker giving me the deep dive into him and what he might bring. This week, we saw a wonderful night of Carabao Cup action. Wayne, you can have the floor straight away. I mean, look, we're heading to Port Vale. We're in the competition. But I do want to talk about what we're seeing briefly at Manchester United. Now, we don't normally talk about other clubs, obviously, on this channel. That said, we will have a Liverpool fan tomorrow morning for a Liverpool preview. The preview shows have been very popular. What did you make of that night at Grimsby? I mean, it was a phenomenal game of football. Obviously, an incredible round of penalties. And Ruben Amorim has taken a lot of pelters.
Deservedly so, because to be fair to him, actually, I can't really put this Grimsby result on him. He could have picked 11 from the canteen and they should probably have still been winning that game. Like the team he selected to beat Grimsby, that should have been enough to win that game. No disrespect to Grimsby, but the players that he put out, just because they've got nothing about them right now. They've got nothing about them, and mostly because
and why is that?
Onana has no arms. that's basically the moral of the story. He let in two goals.
But where I'm going, Wayne, is that this is the guy who, okay, isn't responsible for that entire squad, but he has made signings, expensive ones. He's been there for now more than 6 months. There is no real footprint or identity. What's the record? 44 games and like 17. I don't know what it's appalling. 17 wins in 44 games. That sounds generous. That sounds good.
They've not won back-to-back games under him.
I mean, it's shambolic, and I know they are a mess of a club, top to bottom. They are in complete disarray. But surely he takes responsibility for it. No, I'm surprised.
I genuinely think, yes, obviously he has to take responsibility for it. He's the manager of the club. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people either still overrate these Manchester United players, or they think that Manchester United are still the club of 5, 10, 15 years ago. They're not right now. They might get there eventually. They might come back at some point. They might have an Arsenal-style, journey to get back to the top. It might happen. We don't know. But the difficult thing, I think, for Amorim and Manchester United this summer is they had so much to do. They've signed 3 attackers, which were actually necessary. They had to overhaul their strike force because they simply could not score goals last season. But the fact that they've overhauled their strike force, they have no midfield. They've dropped Bruno deeper. He doesn't work there. Casemiro has no legs. Kobe Mainu, talented player, but he's another one that isn't really athletically suitable, really, for the way that the Premier League is played. That the speed, the intensity, and the type of way that midfield is your midfielders are needed this year. In defence, they've got no real quality defenders. Harry Maguire, who is hated by the majority of their fan base, is probably their best centre back. And that's mental to think that in 2025, Harry Maguire is their best defence. So fortunately for us, but unfortunately for Man United fans and Amorim, they had too much work to do this summer. And I think the easiest fix was to go for the 3 attackers, because at the end of the day, they're going to concede goals regardless of who they bring in, because they can't overhaul the defensive midfield in one summer. But if they concede 2, they've got attackers. Like Mbeumo is quality, Cunha is quality, Sesko, not really right now, but might come good. They'll score goals. So they're probably going for, we'll outscore you more than we'll keep a clean sheet at this point. But yeah, it's absolutely mental. Do you know what it felt like, though, watching that for Man United? It felt like their Bradford game when we had that Bradford defeat in the Carabao Cup. It felt a little bit like that.
A little bit, maybe, but I don't think he's that bad. I don't think ours was that bad. I think Ruben Amorim, for me, he reminds me a lot of Unai Emery, where I feel communication is probably his biggest challenge. I can't imagine players taking Ruben Amorim seriously. When you listen to him talk, he's very unconvincing. He's not very assertive. He's very mumbly and, always trying to find the words. When you see him on the touchline, he sort of walking at a pace up and down, picking up the bottle of water, having a sip on his knees, up and down, and then the penalty shootout, when he couldn't even watch, like he was just sort of rocking. And then obviously this image is gonna probably outlive him, to be fair. But like it's a really tough time for him. I mean, I don't think he's the right man for this club, for that club. And I think, yeah, I feel sorry for him now. By the way, just a couple of super chats that have come through. Scooby-Doo, going back to our older conversation. Adamola Lookman, no one's talking about him. Maybe he's destined for a move to the Premier League. And Aiden says, just become a Latte Firm Ultra on Patreon. The content has been fabulous, FK. Keep it going. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It is greatly appreciated. Appreciate the super chats. Really, really generous of you, and it goes a long way. And of course, the Patreon community is growing massively. Thank you so much for being part of that, Aiden. Hope you enjoy the content. Yem, I don't want to turn it into a Manchester United show, but writing's on the wall surely for this guy.
It's concerning, but there's a bigger problem coming as well, in that they've sold all their wingers pretty much. Garnacho's gone, Rashford has gone, Anthony's about to leave as well. Any incoming manager who potentially comes in, most managers in the world play with wingers. Amorim has bought, Man United have bought into Amorim's structure. They've bought wing backs, and they've bought, they've bought trying to pack their defense. You're talking about if he goes, they're going to rip out that system again and reset again. How many cycles of resets can you go through? They have to stick with him. They can't. They don't have a choice, do they? The investment they've made in this manager, they have to stick with it, because they've also bought 2 number 10s. So you're probably
cost them a lot of money to sack him as well.
Oh yeah, he's on an extensive contract.
Yeah,
the bonuses, etc. Look, the fact is that they have got issues top to bottom, as you said, Faisal. And now it's a case of, is Jim Ratcliffe going to be ruthless and just say that's it, but also take the hit on possibly more cutbacks in more places to satisfy getting more players? Because if you look at it, they have to have stretched themselves. I know they make massive marketing wages, etc. But we had the statement last year from Jim Ratcliffe that if they didn't sell these assets, they would have been bankrupt last year. So which one is it? It's a deeply. It feels like it's almost a kind of schizophrenic club in terms of what it is, that they're spending so much on the first team, but they can't afford to pay wages and lunches to the staff. I think it's much deeper than the players. I think there's a genuine, bad syndrome running through the club. We talked about it with, Rashford and all these players who caught it. I think there's a much deeper problem, and I think it's not an easy fix. And I don't think Amorim can fix it himself. I don't know the answer, to be honest. But the one thing I will say as well is that if your striker, your big buy over the summer, went in at number 10 in the penalty shootout, when there was talk in the summer of his mentality at trying to usurp Kai Havertz, I would question how he will develop in terms of that killer mentality you need in the Premier League. I'm not saying he won't, but there's already alarm bells ringing for me. And I was a Sesko fan. I told you, Sesko was the one for me. But more and more I hear about it, the more and more I see him on the pitch, I'm going, whoa, we may have dodged the bullet at the moment.
Look, it's way too early to say. I know he's had, and I've been part of the propaganda, right? 3 games, 0 goals, could never be my striker, etc., etc. He's obviously a talented player. He will come good, but United are massively dysfunctional. I mean, this is why we're seeing a mass exodus of some of their sort of young talent. I think if Mainu leaves, I don't know if they've got any Manchester-born and bred players in that squad. And that would be quite something for Manchester United. But listen, let's not talk about them. They've been in a really difficult place for a number of years now, and let's hope that continues. But in terms of the draw, Port Vale away, Neither of you are going to go, obviously, because you're not committed. But you couldn't have asked for. I mean, I don't know how that draw was made. Like, it was so bizarre. Like, did you guys watch it back? Like, some European clubs were drawn at home, others were drawn away. They drew it apparently whilst the game was happening. Like, really weird. But anyway, Port Vale away, no complaints, should get through. Wayne, final words?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely should get through. And I'm excited now to see that people are going to complain that we're not playing kids against Port Vale. But when you think about the second team that we can and probably should be putting out, you're looking at Kepa in goal, Ben White at right back, centre backs of Mosquera, maybe Hincapié, and Miles Lewis-Skelly maybe at left back. Midfield, you've got Marino, you've got Norgard, you've got Nwaneri, and then up front, you're probably looking at a front three of Trossard, Martinelli, and Madueke at this point. So, yes, I'd love to see Max Dowman start. Maybe he gets in because obviously Bukayo Saka was injured, so maybe he'd be a bit safe on that right-hand side, play Dowman at right wing. But I'm sure that many people are going to be sad that other kids aren't playing, but just look at our strength in depth. And that's why I think it makes us one of the favourites for this competition this year.
Carrie, it's definitely in England, and it's just in between sort of Birmingham and Manchester.
Debatable. It's in England.
It's in Derby. It's in Derby.
East Midlands. There you go.
It's north. It's not London. It's north.
Yeah, it's north. And close to an Akbar's, which is going to be sensational. Right, let's move on to bigger fish to fry, which is, of course, the Champions League is back. Now, obviously, because I seem to be the only one of the three of us who actually has a job, I missed the entire draw. What did you make of this? Yem, let's start with you. I don't know if you watched it. What did you watch it? Okay,
watching with our sister. Our sister was presenting, obviously, fabulous as always.
Yeah. She's amazing. So you can see the fixtures there on the right-hand side. Arsenal have been drawn at home to Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, Olympiacos, and
Kairat Almaty.
There you go. And we are away at the San Siro, Inter Milan.
Club Brugge.
Okay, cool. And Prague and Athletic Club Bilbao, who, of course, we battered in the Emirates Cup. What did you make of it, Yem?
Yeah, a decent draw. Look, considering some of the other draws that were made, I think we got a fairly decent one. It's a good mix of some of the bigger clubs. I would have liked to see some variation, especially that we've played Inter and Bayern. But if you look at it, they're very winnable. I mean, Inter are not the force they were. They're in a rebuild process. Christian Kiwior's having some teething problems. Bayern Munich, on the day, it could go either way because Vincent Kompany's, it's not certain where he is, and I still have question marks about his ability. Atletico Madrid, it's going to be a tough game. We know Arteta versus exactly
old club, yeah.
But the others, you look at all of those, you would think, even Olympiacos, who we've got some post-traumatic syndrome with that one, you think, okay, I think these are good ties. We can win these, and that's what we should be doing. I'm fairly happy with how things have netted out. It's more of a case of where these games are going to be sandwiched in. And our friend Joe did a little calculation today in terms of, so if you do have time, quick plug, we did a quick finger in the air of where we think these are going to be inserted into. And it's fairly reasonable in terms of the schedule. I think game day 5 looks a little bit shaky because we play Chelsea and in between Chelsea and Tottenham. So it depends on the fixture list, which is released tomorrow, I believe, as in when the fixtures are actually dated. So, but yeah, I can't complain with this. This is a reasonable draw, and I think we should be looking to be placed certainly in the top 8, which is where you want to be for the Champions League.
Well, most people in the chat seem very comfortable with this. Vig says very good fixture list, expecting 6 or 7 wins, maybe 1 or 2 draws. We are not losing to anybody. DJ D10 says too many repeats, maybe, but we should manage this easily. And I did catch on socials the screenshots going around of Barcelona fans, Real Madrid fans, PSG fans who just don't want to face Arsenal in the league stage. I mean, that is testament to, I guess, what Arteta and the club have built over the last couple of years in particular, because our European pedigree and the respect that we're getting on the global or on the certainly the European scene is bigger and better, Wayne.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels good to be in those type of conversations, and I think it feels good to be for teams to intimidate us. Like, it's been a while. It's been a long time coming. But from my perspective, I agree with you. It would have been nice if Bayern and Inter were swapped for, like, I wanted Dortmund and Barcelona, just because I don't remember the last time we played both of those teams. And it would have been nice just to have a little bit of variation. But for the rest of the ties, I'm more than happy to see Simeone come to the Emirates. That's going to be a dark arts fight between Arteta and Simeone.
It's going to be pure cinema.
It might just be 90 minutes of the defenders passing it to each other.
Like, it won't be. It'll be the ball will be out for like 67 minutes.
Not with the gunman up top, mate. Let me tell you.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope that this year we get a little bit more of a favourable fixture start, because we were very front loaded heavy last season. We played we played PSG early, we played Inter early, and there were some fans, especially in the league phase last year, it being quite new, when we lost to Inter, a few fans were getting a bit scared about what the outcome of it might be. But we ended up last year 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. I think we've got every opportunity to at least match that this year, maybe even go better. And last year we finished 3rd in the league phase. You saw from PSG, though, that it didn't really matter where you finished in the league phase. They went on to win it after finishing about, 15th, 16th, or whatever it was. So obviously I want to finish as high as possible, but I think we've got the quality to go far again this year, even if we finish 1st, 2nd, or outside that top 8.
I do want to finish in the top 8 because I want to avoid that sort of extra qualification fixture. But Hamid asked a question here. Yeah, let's go you first. Would you guys be disappointed if we don't end up in the sort of final 4 of the Champions League again?
Yeah, the reason is that I think we suit this kind of league format. I think our squad is built for it. You can rotate a lot better. The dead rub, I'm calling them dead rubs, they shouldn't be. But if you're looking at the Kairat Almatys, you would assume, similar to the Carabao Cup, you play you rotate it very well. That's what's going to get us further in the competition, that you can manage that domestic to European back to domestic kind of fixture. But I also will say as well, the rules have tweaked slightly, and it's more favourable if we finish. The higher up we are, the more like the weighting is favoured for us in terms of the home game being the second leg. You remember last year that we were 3rd, but when we played Real Madrid, who were lower than us, we played at home first, which we didn't want. So there's some advantage to us, trying to be as high as possible and trying to get that, because I think we want to be, that team that has the second leg at home to really, get the atmosphere going and make it, if we have jeopardy. Do
we though? Like, I know that last year we were kind of fixated on that with Real Madrid. The tie was done at the Emirates.
No, but Real Madrid.
I don't know. I don't know if obviously you kind of. I don't know if the tie is exactly the same if Real Madrid were at home first last year. I still think we probably edge it on top because they were pretty poor across the 2 legs. But if we went to the Bernabeu first in that first leg, I don't think it's as comfortable. Or there's not. I think it's in Arsenal fans' minds to want, and football fans' minds to want that second leg at home, but I don't think it's as big a deal, especially after last season.
Would you say, look, the Real Madrid tie aside, generally, for any big tie, you want to be at home second. That's typically what you'd want, because
I disagree. I mean, it'd be nice to see out a game at home, but I think Wayne's right. I think the game's changed now. We don't get the home and aways in the league stage, group stage. I just think you take it as it comes. We are now equipped enough, mature enough to go home or away and just do the business, get it done. Before, when it was like always home return leg, you'd always go, yeah, well, we'll do them back at home. I just think the game's changed. You just got to go and play wherever the games are. Why is everyone saying that PSG and Real have been done bad?
They've got some rough fixtures. They've got some rough fixtures.
Have they?
I think
Real have got a really tough run.
The best highlight is Trent is returning to Anfield.
Yeah, he didn't get picked for England, did he, either? By the way, Oslo has nailed
literally,
it.
Real Madrid. Real Madrid are playing against Liverpool at Anfield in the Champions League phase. That's what I mean. So yeah,
roast him if he starts. If he starts, he's going to absolutely hammered.
That, my friends, is what you call stupendous. That is what you call Eritage. Can't wait. Can't wait. Well, listen, the Champions League is back and the fixtures are going to be obviously dated tomorrow. Thanks for that, Yembele. Let's see how Arsenal get on. Some nice home games there, some nice away ties there, some tasty fixtures. Big clubs of old coming to the Emirates. Can't wait for the Bayern Munich game. We owe them one, that is for sure. Right, before we sort of look ahead to Liverpool, quick plug, we will have a Liverpool preview show tomorrow. Do check that out. The one with Leeds was fantastic. The Leeds fan was absolutely fantastic. And of course, with Alice for the opening fixture against Manchester United was really well received. So do check that out on the channel feed. The link will be issued on Twitter straight after this. But let's talk about some outgoings. Wayne, Jakub Kiwior is on the verge of leaving Arsenal, had apparently 15 clubs after him, is now, I think, heading to Portugal. What do you make of it? What do you make of the farewell?
Disappointed to see him go because I think he is someone who I've been a real fan of because he comes in, has his first 2-3 games really poor, really disappointing. But then when he's in the squad for 5, 6, 7 games on the trot, he's a real quality player. And I think that he's someone that hasn't really been given a fair crack sometimes. And I know that a lot of that is because Gabriel, in my mind, is the best centre-back in the world. But I just always think back to when Arteta put Rob Holding at centre-back instead of Kiwior when Saliba went down. Like, no offence to Rob Holding, top professional and stuff, but if Kiwior's in that back line, we win the Premier League. Like, to me, it is as simple as that. And look, we're obviously upgrading in quality and somebody that offers us a bit more at left-back now with Nketiah, but I wish Kiwior nothing but the best. It's a bit disappointing that we can't get a little bit more money for him. I would have liked maybe 30 to 35 million pounds, but once he made the decision, and I think Hand of Arsenal put it out there that Kiwior wasn't really interested in staying in the Premier League. Once that is kind of out of the window, that kind of restricts our audience for someone to come and sign him for big money. Porto are making him their, I think, most expensive defender in their history. Their second highest fee that they're paying for a player ever, which for them is a big outlay on finances. So I wish him well. He's coming back to England with Porto because I think they drew Nottingham Forest in the Europa League. So it would be good to see him in that competition. And honestly, I wish him nothing but the best. He's been really professional. He's not cried or moaned once about lack of game time. And yeah, it is what it is. I don't blame him for wanting to go and play.
I completely agree with everything that you said about the player and the sentiment and the way that he represented our club, particularly towards the back end of last season. And, you know, he's got 2 warriors ahead of him who he's never going to sort of surpass. And actually, you know, not many would. But yeah, Vig says 27 million euros. It is a loan with obligation. It is low for a player of that quality. Premier League proven, 25 years of age, Polish international, played at Champions League semi-final stage. Leo says the fee is way too low. I mean, what do you make of that, Yem? I know Wayne said, look, second highest for Porto, blah, 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 but it's still a really low fee.
Well, again, Wayne put it really well. When Jakub Kiwior locked onto a club and that was Porto, it pretty much restricted the audience. And they knew. It's kind of like what happened with Eze. You know, once Eze was locked into a club, that was it. There's only one negotiating position. You can't really do much about it. So unfortunately, Arsenal weren't going to push it too hard, and they weren't going to force the player to look at the Premier League options, which obviously would have netted more money. They said, look, we'll respect your choice. You want to go to Porto for whatever reason. And they started negotiating. And obviously Porto, they're a big club, but they're not that big. The Portuguese league doesn't generate that much. They didn't really generate too many funds this year from a big sale. So they don't have the money. So, you're dealt the hand that you're given, unfortunately. And that's part of the problem, that when he said, look, I just want Porto, then you can only do so much. I think we've made our money back. That's all we can say about it. It's not ideal, and it's still a bit of a galling fact that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is still our record, outgoing, which just is crazy. But it is what it is, and at least we have got some money. We've recouped some money, but yeah, it is disappointing overall on the fee.
lots of really nice messages coming in about Jakub Kiwior. Terence Tibbs saying Kiwior was great, but not everybody convinced. RM says Kiwior was a disaster, in my opinion. I can vividly remember multiple Sunday League errors from him that led to goals conceded. Good riddance, he says. Whew. I mean, there's ruthless, and then there's that. Wow. I mean, for me personally, that's way over the top. RM, got to call you out there, because I think Jakub Kiwior did well, and as well as he could. I think the issue with regards to selling fees is Arsenal have a reputation in the market, obviously, and when a player wants to play outside of the Premier League, which is where the money's at, clubs on the continent, they just don't have that spending power. And I'm not surprised to see that it's a loan with obligation. I'm glad that it is an obligation. And 27 million euros, I think that's pretty much bang on what we paid for him when we got him from AFC Spezia.
I think there is a clause as well, a sell-on clause, isn't there? We've inserted as well.
Yeah, somewhat 11%. I read. I mean, it's a very weird sort of percentage, but hey, if it happens, it happens. And at 25, he might secure a big move. A lot of people obviously going back to RM, too negative, harsh. Let's be fair. People are entitled to their opinions. We don't always have to agree with one another. Just keep it as classy as you can in the chat. I know you guys are fantastic as a community, but we've got to let people breathe when it comes to having their takes. Let's move on to another potential departure. And this is Alexander Zinchenko. Now, obviously, at the time of preparing the slides, it was farewell, Alexander, but apparently Marseille have dug their heels in. That was the tweet there from David Ornstein. Marseille working on a deal to sign Zinchenko from Arsenal. A permanent move for the 28-year-old, but it's complicated. Significant salary, and there is a solution that is needed for the deal to advance talks ongoing. Wayne, I don't know if this is dead in the water, if you've been active in the group chats. What do you think?
It seems it, because they've now moved on at left back to Emerson Palmieri, who's at West Ham.
Oh, my God.
But in the group chats, obviously, we talk a lot. And in the group chats, there was the suggestion that they still want Zinchenko because De Zerbi wants him to play in midfield. Now, that remains to be seen. Me personally, I don't think Zinchenko's going anywhere. That's just the reality of the situation. I think if he does go somewhere, or clubs are willing to sign him, we are going to end up having to not take a fee. And I don't think Berta is going to want to tie his hands like that. I don't think he wants to be put in that Edu type of situation. So I think we'd rather just keep him around and just stick him sort of keep him in training, and he'll probably play like the Port Vale match for if he sticks around. And he can walk away next summer on a free, because I think his contract is out at the end of the season. So I don't think we'll want him to go on a free transfer this summer. And I think that's what a Marseille or other teams are going to want to do. I have to say, though, I'm incredibly annoyed and disappointed at the player in this one. And a lot of people are going to place the blame on Arsenal for this, because why have you given him 150 grand a week or whatever? I get that. And it's a short career, and these players are well entitled to earn every single penny of a contract that's given to them. If you want to do that, and you don't want to leave for less money but more playing time, don't come out with autobiography chapters where you're talking about your kids and your family upset at the fact that they can't watch you play football. Because there is an opportunity here, and there's been multiple opportunities this summer where he can go and play football. There was talk and interest in Napoli. And Napoli aren't a bad team. They won Serie A last year. Your favourite ever player plays for them. And he would have Champions League football with them. There was big interest from Turkey, and it's not a random Turkish team. It's one of the two biggest clubs in a beautiful city, and you'll be paid very well there. And now there's the option to potentially go Marseille. Ornstein there is saying that the salary is a significant issue. Well, if you want to play football, you can reduce your salary a little bit if that's what you truly want. But it seems that that's not the case here. So I have no issue if he was to stay sort of quiet or do the odd interview here and there and just talk about his experience at Arsenal. But to put out autobiography chapters with Gunner Blog, with The Athletic, talking about how devastating it is for you that your family can't watch you do the thing you love, you have an opportunity to go and do the thing you love. You're choosing now at this point not to do it. So it's hard for me to feel sympathy for you at that point.
There's a lot of people that are wondering why other clubs aren't going for Zinchenko. And listen, he's got to be the financials. The fact that he's 28 now, he can go on a free next summer. He's on £150,000 a week reportedly now. When he joined Manchester City, his starting salary was 20,000 a week, but by the time he left, it was over £120,000 a week. So, you know, when we bought him, it was a reasonable increase, as you would expect. And we bought him at a time when obviously, you know, Mikel Arteta picked up the club in 11th place or whatever it was in the league. We had the 8th place finish. We needed him. He came in to do a job. Now the club has outgrown him. Our football has surpassed him, and he is now no longer, you know, required. But to lose a player, or sorry, not to lose, to try and shift a player who's on such a high wage, no Premier League team is going to pay a fee and accommodate those wages. If anything, it's going to be a bit of a big hit. But he is still at the club, and lots of people are saying that, you know, he's got to move. We've got to get him out. People are agreeing with you, Wayne, as well, with all of your comments as well. Stephen says, Zinchenko, have some pride, man. Yeah, where is Saudi? Why is he not learning Arabic? Who knows? And Hakuza, welcome, says Hincapie. Here we go. 11-11 says City can't defend, should be a midfielder. I mean, look, he's a very versatile player. Reece Nelson is the same, says Adzadzi. Welcome to the show. £100,000 a week. Club just don't want to pay it. Now, there's a rumour, £15 million to Crystal Palace for Reece Nelson. We shall see. He was seen in, I forget the Fulham player's name now, in a Fulham player's car the other day.
Calvin, wasn't he with Calvin Bassey?
Calvin Bassey, yeah, he was in his car, wasn't he, on the phone intently? So I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's move away from him and talk about the other one that is potentially due to leave before we look ahead to Liverpool. Fabio Vieira, Yembele. We signed him, 2-3 years ago now, it feels like.
3 years ago, wasn't it?
3 years ago. Han of Arsenal tweeting, Arsenal are still working on an exit for Fabio Vieira. Stuttgart firmly at the head of the queue with 3 other European clubs lurking. There was a story that potentially Newcastle could be interested if they, of course, let go of their talisman. There's newfound optimism within the football club regarding this file. One to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, the story of Fabio Vieira is it's a slightly sad one because there's a talented player there, but the league just does not suit him. It's just the fact that sometimes the physicality of the league just does not suit some players, and Fabio Vieira feels like one of those. Again, Stuttgart are the head of the line, but obviously it depends on the Waltenard. I haven't said it improperly, but obviously their striker who's going to Newcastle, that money coming in. So I think maybe we will see some movement towards the end of the window. But yeah, look, 40 million, unfortunately, we're not going to make that back. It feels like it's going to be either a loan with obligation or it'll be like around the 20 million euros mark. But he needs to go and play football. We need to get him off the bill because he's not going to play for us. Look, we've already got too many players in his position. If you're looking at where he plays, which is the attacking midfield position, you got Wanieri, possibly Dowman, possibly Eze. That he's not gonna usurp that line. But as I said, very sad in terms of there are flashes of a really good player there, but consistency is just not there, and he just physically can't manage the demands.
Wayne, do you put it down to that, just the physicality? There's been a couple of comments about that. Fabio Vieira, a bit too lightweight. There's no doubting his technical ability or natural football talent. He showed that in glimpses, but never really quite got going, never really quite got motoring under Mikel Arteta. Why?
I think a lot of it is to do with the physicality. But I also think at the time he came in and the way that we played while he was here for the majority of his time, I don't think our play style really helped him. Funnily enough, and I'm not advocating keeping him, I do think we should sell him. I imagine it will probably end up being a loan, similar to Kiwior, a loan with an obligation next summer. Funnily enough, I think he would be a pretty decent player in the way that we're shaping up this season, with our 10 maybe a little bit closer to the striker, a pivot behind him, and a bit more freedom to take on shots and stuff like that. When obviously Fabio Vieira was playing for us, he was doing that Erdegaard role, and that's not really his style of play. And then alternatively, we were asking him to play on the right wing and be a winger when he's just got no pace. Like, that was just never going to work. It's easy to mark him out of the game. He is an out-and-out number 10, which we didn't really play with until this season, and even that has only been a 2-game sample size. So, yeah, I think it's a combination of the physicality, and it just didn't really fit our style of play. Annoyingly, though, whenever he did play a couple of games, he just never really got the opportunity then to stay in the team. And I remember when he made that subs appearance, I think it was against Fulham a couple of seasons ago, when we were losing. He got a penalty, I think it was. He set up Nketiah to put us in the lead. I thought from there maybe he gets a run of games and really builds up his confidence. And he was injured and straight out of the team like soon after, so he just couldn't pick up any momentum. So yeah, I reckon whether it's Stuttgart or somewhere else, I think Porto as well were linked to selling one of their players to Saudi for about 60-65 million. It wouldn't surprise me if Porto came back with a bid for him.
Let's hope so. Yeah, it hasn't worked out for a number of years now, and he needs to play football. From a human perspective, he's not come to Arsenal wanting to take the easy way out. He wanted to come to Arsenal to be, a star at this club, and it hasn't worked out for him. And let's hope that he finds a club where he can flourish and find a league where his skills are played to. I mean, I find it quite comical being linked to Newcastle of all the teams. Could you imagine Joel Linton, Dan Burns, Sven Botman, Bruno Guimaraes, and little Fabio Vieira in the number 10? I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to get a move on the continent, but Fabio Vieira, hopefully one to exit over the next couple of days. Let's talk about Leeds, because you guys haven't been on the show. Let's talk about football now, actual football. Robert, welcome to the show, says Incapia. Here we go. I'm very late. LOL. You are late, but it is what it is, my man. Welcome to the show nonetheless. There are just shy of 750 of you watching live right now on YouTube. That is immaculate numbers for Late Night Lounge on a Friday night. Thank you so much for making the time to join us. We really appreciate it. If you'd be kind enough to drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. We've got the daily grinds, we've got match reactions, we've got match previews, we've got late night lounges, so much stuff going on. And of course, thank you also to our channel members who get ad-free content and early access to stuff, and our Patreon members who are also privy to giveaways, which I can't do on YouTube because of regulations. Last time out, seems a long time ago, we pumped Leeds United 5-0. Heard your excellent podcast today where you went through each of the goals. But what did you make of the game? It all started off with Eberechi Eze, is the correct pronunciation of his name, being unveiled on the pitch. And then, of course, goals from Jurriën Timber, Bukayo Saka, Victor Gyökeres with a double, and Timber again in the second half. Lovely day out.
It was almost perfect. Almost perfect. That
almost
weekend. Injuries. The injury.
Okay.
Almost. Do you know how close we were to the ultimate ecstasy point where it would have been like the perfect weekend? Because obviously we were on that massive high from usurping Tottenham to get Eberechi Eze, and then obviously at 5:15 getting the announcements. We were ready to welcome our new boy onto the pitch. The music was perfect, it will all work out, it was beautiful. And then obviously the game got started a little bit slow in the first half an hour, but set piece FC rolls again, got us the goal through Jurriën Timber. The second goal was phenomenal from Bukayo Saka, but you have to look at just a few passes before that. Zubimendi with the interception and the quickness of thought just to pass it out to Timber quickly into Bukayo Saka, great strike. Amazing strike. Then you had Victor Gyökeres getting his first goal, and Faisal went nuts. He literally said, "You said it 2 minutes beforehand. I want him to score. I need to go down to row 1 to do that." And lo and behold, 2 minutes later, there it happened. And
I'll be honest with you. Hang on, what's going on? What is going on? Hand of Arsenal bomber, according to Jason W. How have neither of you on hard?
Listen,
says Hand of
I've got
Arsenal
it here.
tweeted.
Yes, he's tweeted to say Andrea Berta will continue to assess the market in the final days of the window should an opportunity present itself. The Italian is also locked in talks for extensions to both Bukayo Saka and William Saliba. Patience is the master of the situation.
My guy, Hand of Arsenal.
My ninja.
Our ninja. So for those of you wondering, I mean, I was telling Yembele at halftime, Victor Gyökeres needs to score today, and when he does, I want it to be in the North Bank, looking straight at me, doing the old celebration. And as soon as he scored, man, it was right in front of me, and I ran down to row 1, and I was like, there's Elaine, the slightly sort of elderly lady with the walking stick, and she got up, and I'm just there going, come on, and like just looking at
do you know what?
like
Everyone
that.
could do.
I was locked in.
Do you know what the strangest thing is? It's amazing. Wayne literally sits almost dyingly above us, and he sits a fair distance. And we did this, didn't we? And you can see it, couldn't you, Wayne? You're literally doing that as well.
Can I ask you, what do you guys make of the Arsenal are so cringe, grown men doing the celebration?
Stop it, man. Let people have their fun, man. Let people have their fun. If Gyökeres was playing for any other team, they would be doing it. So shut up. Just go. You've got grown men going like this. Oh, I'm cold. I'm a bit chilly. Oh, I'm a bit cold.
You've got an iconic celebration. An iconic celebration. You know who is doing it. If we go like that, you know who we're talking about. Walid said it on the podcast, and again another plug. So Walid actually he was at a wedding, and he couldn't actually tell the person across an Arsenal fan across the wedding thing what had actually happened. So he just went like this, and the guy instantly knew what had happened. That's how iconic it is. So I don't care, to be honest. We have got the killer in the box, and I absolutely loved it. I loved that goal. It was such a good striker's goal. The absolute will to get in the box. I am not passing off. I will have the strike. That is something, with all due respect to everyone else in our team, everyone else would have looked for the pass, because all he wants is goals. And it's so refreshing to see. Then we had the fourth goal, obviously, from Jurrien Timber, another set piece, but a little bit more scrappy this time. Introduction of Max Dowman, which we all loved. And I'm telling you, it's crazy the expectation when he grabs the ball. It literally was people getting out their seat as soon as he got the ball. Oh, and everyone rose, winning the penalty. And then we all knew who was going to take the penalty. It looked like Declan Rice was holding the ball, but you knew who was going to take it. The killer himself, Bane himself, stepped up. What a hit. Sent us home very happy. Job done, 5-0. It's such a shame with those injuries. That was the only downer on an almost perfect day. But yeah, what a way to start the home season. And these are the kind of games that you want to be getting loads of goals in, not having these kind of like last year we had the Fulhams where it was a 1-1, 1-0, 1-1s, and you want to be destroying teams to get that goal difference up. So very happy.
It's because they hate us. And all I'll tell you about the celebration police, I am telling you, all of these people have tried that celebration at home.
They want to be us. They want to be us.
Victor. They all wanted Victor. Wayne, any closing thoughts on the Leeds game before we look ahead to Liverpool?
No, as Micah Richards said, it's only a problem when Arsenal do it, and that's exactly the case here. We score from set pieces. You can't score from set pieces. Those goals don't count. We concede from set pieces. Oh yeah, they're the best goals in the world. Gyökeres scores and celebrates. What a cringe celebration! Can't believe Arsenal fans were doing that. He doesn't score and doesn't celebrate. Gyökeres is a trash striker. Like, we cannot win, and this is why I always say, no matter what we do in a season, just celebrate it as an Arsenal fan, because we could win the league and Champions League double. Other fans will try to find reasons and excuses why it doesn't mean anything. Oh, it's because of Liverpool's injuries. Oh, it's because you spent 600 million in the summer. Whatever. Just enjoy it as an Arsenal fan. We 5-0 at home in the first home game of the season, and on top of that, Eze. Just that feeling in the stadium before the game. We were lucky enough to be there, but anyone that was able to tune in and watch that live, I hope that felt as special to you as it did for us, as it did for him, and you could blatantly tell it. And it was just the perfect start to a wonderful day. Like you said, the injuries were incredibly disappointing. I can't get to the acceleration. The injuries were incredibly disappointing, but silver lining is come at a really good time.
Yeah, international too.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm so happy. Got to enjoy their moans this year. They are worried. They are worried about the Arsenal. And just on Victor, there was a great comment that has just sort of skimmed past the mentality of this boy. Someone was saying that he's like an alpha male. Here we go. Love this. Ricardo. Gyökeres is a proper alpha. no doubt who was taking the penalty. Like Sesko, of course, you heard. Do you know Victor Gyökeres? I was talking to a couple of friends last night at the Arsenal event at the Shard. And we were just talking around like this guy, all he wants to do is score goals and just fuck off home. Like, I don't think he's here for anything else. I don't think he cares about whether he's liked or not. I don't think he cares about the sort of ambience in the squad and the dressing room camaraderie. This guy just wants to score goals, shitloads of them, and then just go home.
Do you know the best part about that was the best part about it was the penalty itself. That was not a 5-0 90th minute penalty.
Nah, that was serious.
Went back and twatted it like this is the game winner on the line. My life is on the line. I'm going to hit it as hard as possible. Not like normally, like I think we've had in the past, like Alexis Sanchez or Cazorla step up when it's 3-0, 4-0, and they'll Panenka it down the middle. And we'll enjoy it because it's 5-0. It's like, oh, you can get away with it. If you miss, you miss. It's still going to end 4-0. He had no intentions of doing anything like that.
Arteta said it though, didn't he? You know, do you remember that little interview that he did where he was saying, name the best player, name the person who does this and this and this. And they asked, who's the best penalty taker? Without even flinching, went Victor Gyökeres. It was straight away because that boy, his penalties are. It's like Harry Kane, and I dislike Harry Kane, but his penalty taking is, just twat it as hard as you can, and that's what Victor Gyökeres does. I love it. That's what I want from someone who takes my penalties.
He's very American Psycho. I love that.
I love it. Yeah, I love it as well.
And I remember the day we signed him, there was that video from Sporting Lisbon where he's just holding the trophy and walking down the tunnel and whistling. It's so eerie yet so fucking cool at the same time. I love this boy. You know what? I might break the mold, Yembele. I might have to get a player name on the back of my shirt. I've not done it in so many years. I just feel like I love him so much. I've wanted this boy for so long, as you guys know. I can't believe he plays for Arsenal.
Do you remember when the behind the scenes videos when he read the Martin Odegaard letter? He said, "Oh, that's very nice, but give me some assists." That's all he cares about. It's not about the sentiment or anything.
Yeah, I remember
your
that.
job.
That welcome. Just give me some assists. That's what I mean. He just wants to score goals and just go home. Like, he doesn't care about anything else. I love it. Right, let's now into the last sort of 10, 15 minutes of tonight's show. Really appreciate all of you guys watching, by the way. 750 of you watching live right now on YouTube. Please do drop a like on the video if you are enjoying the content and subscribe. Unfortunately, the injuries, as you sort of talked about on the left-hand side, game week 2, and we're missing Kai Havertz, Martin Odegaard, and Bukayo Saka. But weirdly, we feel quite, I don't want to say relaxed as if we don't care, because obviously Saka is massive. Odegaard is a huge injury, and Kai Havertz, nobody wants to see him not playing for Arsenal. But we've done some really amazing business in the windows, you can see on the right-hand side. And of course, today's bomber, Piero Hincapié. Wayne, it's unusual. I mean, it's not unusual that we have injuries because it's Arsenal. Do you know us? But like, there is a relaxed feeling about this, right, Wayne? Like, I'm not looking ahead on Sunday with trepidation. Even if Odegaard doesn't quite make it, I'm looking ahead to Sunday as Arsenal are going to go to Anfield. We are going there to win, and we might come back with the 3 points.
Yeah, and I don't think you're alone in that feeling. And we said before on the show, I've said that one of the sort of phrases that always stuck with me in school and at exam time was teachers would say to you, if you fail to prepare to fail. And it always felt like we failed to prepare for the seasons properly every single summer. And it feels as though this summer we are prepared for all eventualities. We're prepared for the injury crisis of last year. We're prepared for missing Bukayo Saka for a season. We're prepared for different sort of opponents and different sort of setups. We're prepared for as much as we can be in charge of. And that's all I've ever wanted from any Arsenal side, because right now you're going to Anfield. Listen, everyone knows how difficult Anfield is going to be. You know how good Liverpool is going to be. But they've not started the season in the most impressive fashion. They're conceding goals. Yes, they've won their first 2 games, but they look like they can be got at. And in previous years, if you said to Arsenal fans that your starting striker, your starting captain, playmaker 10, whatever you want to call it, and your best player are going to be out injured, everyone would have just thrown the game already. No one would even be looking forward to going to Anfield on Sunday. And everyone would also be anticipating the fact that we would go like back five, Marino at striker, and just kind of part of the bus. But we're going there with an attacking game plan. We're going there with an idea that we've got like for like, maybe not necessarily qualities, but we've got like for like profiles. You've got Saka out. You imagine that Eze will come in for him and Madueke will slip over to the right-hand side. And you've still got quality players in that front three. Kai Havertz is out. You've got the gunman in Gyökeres ready to start at Anfield. And then, obviously, with Ødegaard out, it depends really what we want to do there. We might see Eze play as the 10 and maybe Martinelli, because he's got a good record against Liverpool. He's got a good record at Anfield, and he works really hard on that left-hand side. Maybe Martinelli comes in on that left-hand side. Maybe we see Ranieri come in on that left-hand side. Or maybe we bring in a Marino and try to go a little bit more flat in midfield. We have every sort of possibility now. We've got every sort of profile to combat different situations, and I love that. And I'm just glad to be in a situation now where we're going to Anfield and we've not given up on Friday night because Saka, Ødegaard, and Havertz are injured.
Well, let's talk about the lineup shortly, but obviously the teaser is there. Liverpool, Arsenal, we head to Anfield, and I'm sure, chat, you guys have all watched this, but there are some comments going around from Mo Salah as part of his sort of Super Sunday interview, and he says Arsenal are favourites for the title, chaps. And this is because the club and its players have been together for 5 or 6 years, and they've got that sort of chemistry. And I found the whole interview really weird. Like, normally it's mind games. It is probably mind games, but like, why would you say that as the player of the year for the defending champions, who are going to spend just shy of £400 million in one window if they get Isak? And yet he's just like smiling away saying, yeah, you know, I think it's not the first time he said it either. He said it before. I think Arsenal are favourites for the league. This is wild, Yem.
It may be that kind of, to instill that kind of mentality of we're the chasing pack, we're the ones who are chasing, we're not the favourites, we're the underdogs. I don't believe it, to be honest. Liverpool deservedly won the title last year at Canter. We didn't do enough. They start as favourites for me still this year. We have definitely bought very, very well, and you can tell it in that what you just said before, Wayne, in that our depth is crazy now. But that doesn't still make us favourites for the title in my eyes until consistently we are doing what Liverpool did. They started with wins, they accumulated the wins, and you go for that. I think it's very early to make that kind of prediction. And obviously, I think it is the mind games. I think it's just something to put pressure onto us to say, look, you are the title favourites. You should be performing and you should be winning against us. No, this is a tough game against the defending champions. And they do look unbalanced, but you look at their attack, it's always going to cause us problems. But we should just block this is the case of me saying, me, and I know Arteta will be saying, block the noise out, just play your game. Whatever will happen, but ensure that you win games. And the Liverpool game this weekend, as Wayne put it really well, we should be going there full of confidence, respectful, but confident that we will we can make a game of it, and then what will happen, because again, Liverpool are the defending champions for a reason. They have got a fabulous attack, fabulous. Their defense and their midfield is a slight issue, but you can't overlook it. So I don't believe any of this, and I don't think any Arsenal fan will buy into this yet. I think we still know that we need to see more from the Arsenal to make sure that if we are the title favourites, and I think it's very early.
Well, I mean, Fatma Tamasa Sase says mind games, as does Viggs, as does Zahaib. I mean, two things. I follow a lot of Liverpool fans. We engage on the timeline regularly, and I saw one of my friends, Henry. I'm sure he won't mind me hanging him out to dry here. Henry Jackson, in case any of you want to tweet him and see the exchange we had. He sent a tweet out saying, Salah's absolutely right. Arsenal have to be favourites for the title this year. They have no excuses. And I sort of responded back going, look, mate, we all know why you won the league last year, and fair play. We were ravaged by injuries. You won it at a canter in the end. You had individual performances from Van Dijk and Salah. Incredible. Great. You won it. But we all know that had we have stayed fit, we'd have walked it, right? We know that. And that's why Mikel Arteta has done everything he can to absolutely avoid that sort of happening again. But this doesn't make sense, this whole sort of thing, because Henry responded back to me saying, well, actually, it is sort of 50-50. I was like, well, how can there be no excuses then? If it's 50-50 in your mind that it's between Liverpool and Arsenal, it's not Arsenal must win and where there are excuses. But Mo Salah saying that the players have been together 5-6 years. We've just signed 8 players this window. 8. 2 or 3 of them are going to be starters. Doesn't make sense, Wayne.
It doesn't really, but I'll ask you and anyone else watching, what do you expect a media-trained professional to realistically say? I don't remember anybody that's challenging, especially after 2 games in the season. Anyone that's challenging, I don't remember them blatantly coming out and saying, yeah, we're the favourites, mate. We're going to run off with it. No one's going to do that. And Salah is, whether or not Liverpool are good, bad, ugly, he's always been humble. He's just that type of likeable guy. It doesn't matter who it is. You could ask anyone. Pep, after 2 games in the season, never used to say, yeah, we're the favourites. He would always say, I think Liverpool have done a very good job. I think that they're probably the favourites for the Premier League. And if Salah was being realistic, Manchester City are probably the favourites for the title because they've got Haaland, they've got Pep, they spend 60, 100 million a year more on wages than anyone. Why aren't Man City the favourites? So, no, it's just a bit of mind games ahead of a very, very big game. Takes a little bit of pressure off of them and their fan base, puts a little bit more pressure on us. And if they can go and say, oh, yeah, we beat the favourites on the 3rd game, that's what they're going to run with. But I don't really know what anyone else expected Mo Salah to say, because I don't think anyone, even if you asked an Arsenal player at this point, I don't think any of our guys will be there. Yeah, we're the favourites.
Is there an AFCON?
Yes.
Yes, in the new year.
In the middle of the season?
Yeah, it's January.
Yeah.
Mashallah, brother. Oh, yes. Right, let's get on to the game. There is a decision to be made, and it's a big decision. And Yem, I want to come to you on this. Does Eberechi Eze get his debut?
Yeah, I think he will. But where he plays is going to depend on Martin Odegaard's availability. If Odegaard makes it, I think he'll go to the left. If he doesn't, he may play the 10, because I think that although Wanyeri came on and did very well against Leeds versus Liverpool is a very different affair. Eze knows the Premier League, he knows how to play at Liverpool. I think he starts. I can't see a point where he doesn't, but I can also make the case for Martinelli just does really well at Anfield. For some reason, he gets the space and he gets the time and he really does perform well. So, but all the noise, all the comments from Mikel Arteta just lends itself that Eze will be starting in some capacity.
I mean, you mentioned Martinelli and Wayne. Liverpool are likely to have Dominic Szoboszlai at right back, and to be fair, he did really well at St James's, and that's going to be potentially an area that we want to exploit. Could it be Madueke on the left-hand side? Could it be Eze at left wide forward, or do you expect it to be the Brazilian?
I expect it to be Eze on the left-hand side. I think Madueke will switch over to the right-hand side. I think that's just a natural fit for him, and I'm looking forward to seeing him on that right-hand side, because for that 15, 20 minutes against Leeds, I thought he was really impressive on the right. And Kerkez has not started this season well, so Madueke could really take him to the cleaners. Whether anything comes of it will be interesting to see, but I'm excited for it. I think Odegaard plays, though. I think Odegaard starts. I think he'll be okay enough to start. He might not finish the game, but I think he'll be fine to start, and that'll be a really big boost for us. But for me, yeah, Eze starts on the left. The bigger question, though, and it'll be interesting to hear both of your thoughts, is what we do at left back. Calafiori has started the season very, very well, and it wouldn't surprise me if he stayed in the team. But Miles Lewis-Skelly at Anfield last year was very impressive. Hincapié probably won't be in the squad. I don't think he would have signed in time, and I don't expect him to start with no training and no settling in period. But it'll be interesting to see if we go with Lewis-Skelly at left back defensively against Mo Salah, because I think of the two defensively, Miles Lewis-Skelly is maybe a little bit better. And if you think about some of the times that Mbeumo was free at Old Trafford on the first day of the season, and a lot of that with Calafiori's more sort of freedom getting forward, maybe that might be something that we look at.
Wow. Steve Pereira has gifted 10 Latte Firm Arsenal FC memberships. Steve, it's a name I don't recognize. So welcome to Latte Fam. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you. What can I say? Your generosity is absolutely insane. I hope you intended that and that wasn't a typo. It wasn't like I intend 1 and he's given away 10 because people have picked him up. Aiden Ann says, Steve, thank you. Viggs is now a member. Nathan is a member. Yanni is now a member, says, thank you, Steve. I don't actually know how people grab these, but Steve, your generosity is really appreciated and it goes a very long way for the channel. So, Steve, thank you, man. Much love. Hope you're enjoying the content and it's great to see you in the chat. So just on the left wide forward thing, I would like to see Martinelli play because I think Szoboszlai is there to be exploited. And I think with his pace, it's got to be someone quick, someone who likes to run at players. So it's got to be, for me, Martinelli or Madueke. I can't see Eze making his debut at Anfield left wing for Arsenal. If Odegaard is going to miss out, and the rumour is, and certainly the noise we're getting from the club is that actually they're going to try and move heaven and earth to get him fit, and he's a skipper. Let's not forget that. Hopefully he plays, but if he doesn't, I think Eze just comes straight in. The defensive stuff is interesting because Ben White is obviously out, and hopefully praying to God that Ben White does not miss too much of our season, hopefully back after the international friendlies. Did he get picked for England?
No, he had a niggle, okay. And
okay.
He's available for selection.
Okay, so hopefully back after the international friendlies, but I think Timber's going to play on the right-hand side, which means you need someone, and it'll be too soon for Piero Hincapié. You need someone to be a little bit more advanced on that left-hand side, and it could be Mars Lewis-Kelly, it could be Calafiori, both defensively good, but they come against Mo Salah. And someone mentioned in the chat, but the chat is too fast for an old man like me. Maybe Timber. Does Timber move out to the left, and do we do something funky at right back? But we can't. Ben White's not there, so Timber has to be right back. Saliba, Gabriel. Wayne, who did you say you wanted?
I think you keep with Calafiori. I think you keep with Calafiori because he started the season quite well.
Yembele, who are you picking at left back?
Oh, it's really hard. I think Calafiori, but I think Calafiori will be asked not to raid as much. But the bigger problem is as well.
Do you think he'll listen? Calafiori not to raid. He'll be outside that D, doing secondary runs.
The other problem is Ekatike will drift naturally to that right hand side as well. So we're going to have to be, I think Zubamendi's got a job as well in this one to make sure that we don't, Ekatike doesn't get too free because he's not a typical striker. He's got a very good shot on him, but we have to watch him. He's the one I think that can cause issues. Florian Wirtz hasn't started strong, but again, you can never discount a player of his quality as well. And Gakpo. I mean, that Liverpool offense is very, very good for a reason. So it's a lot of work, but very confident with whoever we put out.
I think if you do start Calafiori at left back, you have to start Martinelli at left wing because he will track back, he will work hard, and he has that effort and that work rate, especially at Anfield in big games that you need wingers to have. He will hopefully be able to exploit Szoboszlai a little bit as well down that left-hand side. But I think of our left wingers, he will probably be the most likely to double up on Salah and track back when necessary.
Eze does pretty well with his tracking back as well. He regularly set into the 4-4-2.
But he's not done it for us.
And that's what I'm a little bit nervous about. Any other fixture, even if it was Liverpool at home, you'd maybe sort of just chuck him in there. And I've said it, if the skip misses out tomorrow, Eze's got to play. You can't buy someone for £68 million of that talent and just have a hole in that part of the pitch. But because it's left, I like the idea of Martinelli. And Wayne, you make really excellent points about his work off the ball. Whilst he's not, having the best time on the ball and in front of goal, his work rate is phenomenal. And I think he's going to be needed to sort of just, double up on Mo Salah when necessary and to help pin back Szoboszlai or whoever plays at right back.
One last point. This game is tailor-made. If Liverpool play the high line that they usually do, this game is tailor-made for Victor Gyökeres to spin in behind and do his thing because he wants the high line. This is the high line that he wants. I can't see Liverpool playing the high line completely because that's suicide against us. We're not a great transition team, but you've got the best transition striker probably in the league.
Well, Andy's just said Slot has confirmed that Bradley is trained all week and probably goes into right back, so it may not be Szoboszlai after all. In which case, Szoboszlai moves into midfield, and I think Szoboszlai is a really good player.
With Gravenberch, no McAllister in the midfield?
Well, McAllister's just become a dad, hasn't he? He was away on pat leave, or certainly missed Newcastle for that. It could be Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and Florian Squirts.
He could drop it. He could drop him. He could drop him, obviously, as well. Wirtz, do you think he's brave enough to do that?
He's not dropping Wirtz in a game like this. Liverpool at home, champions, £150 million signing. No chance, Yembele. Come on.
He hasn't settled. He hasn't settled properly, has he?
Two games.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying as well. You look at Eze. You're saying, Eze may not start if.
I would be amazed. I would be amazed. Okay, so look, there's a sort of team. I've asked people for their predictions. Let's have your score predictions for Liverpool versus Arsenal at the weekend. Get involved in the chat as I just read out a few more team changes here. D-Day Spring says Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba and Timber on the back line. Ekitike drifts to the left and will face Timber. Nobody wants to face Timber. Ram says Calafiori is in good form. Wouldn't want to disrupt that rhythm. Yeah, I mean, look, Miles Lewis-Skelly is a fine player. Doesn't get dribbled past often. That's something that, actually, I think a lot of us don't recognize. I certainly don't. I always sort of resort to, I think Calafiori is better than Miles Lewis-Skelly defensively. But actually, Miles Lewis-Skelly just doesn't get run past much, which is interesting. Gaming since 2010 to Zubimendi and Rice might also just sit in between the centre-backs more often. They might go into a pivot, actually. Let it all work out. Let's not get me singing. All right, let's have your predictions, chaps, before we bring out some from the chat. Yem, how do you think the game is going to go? What do you think the score is going to be?
I went with a 2-1 earlier, so I'll stick with my thing, 2-1.
And because it's you, I've got to check 2-1 to Arsenal.
Yes, I believe in that.
Fair enough. Wayne, what do you think is going to happen at Anfield?
I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. It's been 2-2 the past 2 years, and unfortunately, I have to cast everyone's mind back to game week 3 last season. We drew against Brighton at home, and Chris Kavanagh sent Declan Rice off for the most nonsensical second yellow card that we've ever seen. Ask yourselves who's the referee at Anfield this Super Sunday.
The refereeing stand.
Who is it? Is it
Kavanagh?
Again? No way.
Yeah. So I've gone for a 2-2 draw, but I will say I don't think there's been a better chance for us to win at Anfield than Sunday.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right. As Vlad says, 2-1 to the Arsenal, Gyökeres and Martinelli bagging. Liverpool are winless in their last 6 Premier League games against Arsenal. Drawn 4, lost 2. The last 3 Premier League games between Liverpool and Arsenal at Anfield have all been drawn, which is interesting. But we're winless in our last 12 at Anfield. So despite the 3 draws, like you say, Wayne, we've not been there and won in a very, very long time. And just as I look at that, let's have a look at the sort of team news from Liverpool. Is there anything that's come through? No, not yet. Bradley obviously in full training, which is going to be interesting. McAllister's back in the squad. North Bank Brent says 3-1 to the Arsenal. Pazza, welcome to the show. I did see you chatting earlier. Real pleasure to meet you. Pazza, of course, having tickets to the Leeds game by being a Patreon member, which is amazing. You and your son really enjoyed that day. 3-2 says Amberl 38. Thanks for all your chats in tonight's show. Vix Rose says a typical 2-2. He's gone with Wayne. Aiden says 2-1 to the Arsenal. Baz says 1-0 to the Arsenal. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet, Baz. I think we're brilliant defensively, but I think Liverpool have got so much firepower. I think they will get through, and it's just down to us to score more than them. Adil says 2-0 to Asna. 89 settings, says Nathan. 2-0 to the Arsenal. Vig saying Hart says 2-1. Logic says 2-2. Interesting. Michael Prince has gone for a 1-0 to the Arsenal. 11-11 has gone for 2-2 at Anfield. The ref will try and ruin it. I hope the ref just doesn't get involved.
He will.
I know it's a big hope, but like if we can just take the ref out of the game, that would be wonderful.
You know what? I've seen too much in the 2 games already. Konate should have been sent off for the second yellow against Liverpool.
Konate's on the ropes. He doesn't look anywhere near as
He's
good
in
as
Spain.
Liverpool people
He's
His
in
claim.
mind is in
Spain right
Madrid.
now.
His head's in
Yeah,
His
Madrid.
mind is in Madrid.
his head is in
I
Madrid
wonder.
already. He's
I
learning
wonder.
Spanish, a year in advance, like Trent did.
BX Gunner, I don't think I could take that. That might just too much stress. Gaming since 2010 says Bradley's barely had any match fitness. To be fair, by the way, so even though he might play at right back, Martinelli should get the better of him. Says SE18 3-1 to the Arsenal. Eze to score a free kick. Last minute win. No, come on, Neil, behave. We don't need this stress. Okay, you must be new around here, Neil. Although Ambel's gone 3-2 as well. Listen, lots of really interesting predictions coming up in the chat. There's obviously so many of you watching. Really appreciate it. Jason says 4-1 to the Arsenal. Statement win. Oh, could you imagine?
Can I ask a question quickly?
Yeah, go on, mate.
A few people are calling this the title decider already because it was the top two. For me, this is just almost a confidence. If you win, it's a boost to your confidence. But there is there's no impact here. If we draw or lose, it's so early in the season. I mean, what do
I don't think it's a title decider, Ian. But I think if we win, I think that's big. I think if you go to Anfield, they are obviously current champions. They've spent a huge amount of money this summer. It's not just Arsenal that are spending money. They've spent a huge amount of money. If Arsenal go to Anfield, having not won there in our last 12 visits, and we put on a statement and we win that game, I think that is a huge statement to Liverpool. It's a big statement to the Premier League. And I think it reinforces our belief in what we are trying to do as a club, Yem. I tweeted today and I deleted it quite quickly, sort of meeting Richard Garlick last night, and we were talking about the intensity in the dressing room and the determination that the players have. And he said that the players are on edge, like they're craving success so much. Like it is a fiercely competitive environment. Used a couple of words that kind of threw me, but in the best sort of way. And I don't want to repeat them because I don't want to be misquoted. But like he just says there's a vibe about the place. Every game we take it so seriously. And I know you would expect him to say that, but like when you think about the intensity and the level of competition that we're sort of aiming for, it's fantastic. So I think a win actually is massive, massive for us. Wayne?
I think a win is absolutely huge, especially when you consider the fact, what was the stat, 12 years without a win at Anfield? I think any win at Anfield, whether you're challenging for the title, the top four, the top six, or relegation, if you win at Anfield, it's massive. Doesn't matter who you are, because very, very few teams do that. But what I will say is if we do lose to Liverpool and it doesn't go our way on Sunday, that's not going to define us winning the title. What's going to define us winning the title is turning last year's 13 draws, was it? I can't even remember how many.
13 draws, losses.
14 draws.
14 draws. Forget the losses. Turning 14 draws into wins, or turning 10 of them into wins. You can't have 14 draws and expect to be Premier League champions. So I would like that to continue with Liverpool, because we turned Man United from a draw last season into a win this season. I'd like that to continue with Liverpool. But yeah, if it doesn't go our way, there's still 35 games to play. It doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things.
Well, there we have it. Arsenal head to Liverpool on Sunday. That is the 4:30 kickoff, Super Sunday, live on Sky Sports for those of you who get Sky Sports in the UK. And it's going to be an incredible game, I'm sure of it. I don't want it to be a high-scoring sort of last-minute winner. I don't think I could take that, but I hope it's a really good game, and I hope we play the fixture and not the occasion. I hope we go to Anfield, lay it down. We are a top team, as are they. We are a very, very good side. Lots of really good players. Get the bit between our teeth. Go there and just lay it on them. And it would be fantastic to come away with 3 points.
Keep the crowd silent. Keep them silent. If you take the lead, keep the ball. Just keep them bored. Don't get their fans into it, and it will be perfectly fine. Indeed.
A win at Anfield, says Paz, would not be a title defined, but more important to our progress / confidence over the next few years. Thank you, Yanni. I'm not sure which statement, but I'll take it. I'll take it nonetheless. We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It ended up being an hour and 40, which is long. It'll be available via Spotify and Apple. If you're interested in the audio-only versions, I'll do that for in the early hours of the morning. If either of you want to follow either of these fine chaps, they're available on X at Verge59 is Yembele. at Wayne'sWorld20_ is Wayne. Both of them have released new episodes on their podcasts, Red Lines and Half Spaces, which is Yems, and the Can You Believe It podcast, which is Wayne's. Get involved. And if you're enjoying some of this content, you're tuning in for the first time, wondering, oh, this is interesting, subscribe. Like the video before you go, massive help and a massive support also for our YouTube channel members and Patreon members. Really appreciate all the time, all the love. Enjoy the weekend. The Barclays, it's just beginning to spice up. Bye for now.